The hills are alive with the sound of helicopters. At the Austrian Grand Prix, Formula One meets the Austrian Alps, and two very different ways to arrive. There are two kinds of Austrian Grand Prix arrivals. The first descends from the sky, lands near Spielberg, and smells faintly of leather seats and hospitality package. The second parks in a field, follows a crowd of people in team shirts through the countryside, and quietly accepts that the step count is now part of the ticket price. Welcome to the Red Bull Ring, where the journey to the track is less a logistical detail than a personality test. The hills, true to the song, really are alive. Though these days the sound is equal parts soaring strings, screaming V6 hybrids, and the thwack-thwack of rotor blades over the valley. The two tribes. F1 describes the Red Bull Ring as sitting in an idyllic natural bowl in the Styrian Mountains, a polite way of saying the views are stunning, and you may have to earn them with your calves. Pour 1/3 people into that bowl over a weekend, and something has to give. What gives is your morning. So the crowd sorts itself, quietly and ruthlessly, into two tribes. Tier 1. Helicopter class, for the haves. You know the type. They descend like gods in designer sunglasses, all rotor blades and main character energy. The uniform is quiet luxury at full volume. Loro Piana summer walks, or a Zegna triple stitch if they're feeling sporty. Brunello Cucinelli's Delave linen trousers in oatmeal, and a pair of Hermès orange that will never ever meet a cornfield. The bag is also Hermès. Obviously, on the wrist the flex turns quiet, and the price tags turn loud. A Patek Philippe Nautilus, or an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak for the truly understated, a Richard Mille for the ones who want you to know. A Rolex Daytona still works, of course. Old money doesn't read the press releases. And it's a real bookable service. The Red Bull Ring opens the Hinterstoisser military airfield in Zeltweg, barely a kilometer from the circuit, to civilians for the weekend, with charters run by Vuker Helicopter, the name you can read on the fuselages parked in the grass below. They'll lift you from Salzburg or Graz, set you down at the circuit, and shuttle you directly to the paddock. No lines, no meadow, no cow. The rotors are still spinning, and you're essentially already at brunch. See you at the paddock, darling. Tier 2, Cornfield Edition, for the have-nots. Welcome to the real Austrian GP. You park in a vast open field that may well have been a cornfield last week. General admission here is sold, in the circuit's own cheerful words, as access to an open meadow. That is not marketing spin, it is a meadow. Your car is now neighbors with several cows entirely unimpressed by overtake mode, tire strategy, or your outfit, and the walk to the track is a glorious 20,000-step exercise in character building, past a welcome race fans banner the livestock have been ignoring since long before Red Bull bought the place. This tribe has a uniform too, and it is the polar opposite of quiet. The Orange Army arrives in full Dutch battle dress, lederhosen worn over an orange tee, feathered green Steiermark hats, the occasional pair of furry orange leg warmers, and clogs, in case the field wasn't already a statement. No orans here, just sneakers built for a hike, and a sea of orange you can spot from the helicopter. Loud, sunburnt, joyful, and entirely unbothered by what anyone thinks of the trousers. Free parking included. Free cow spotting included. Bonus, you'll remember exactly where you left the car. Probably somewhere on that hike, crossing the green alpine slopes with everything you own slung over a shoulder, you'll feel a certain kinship with the Von Trapps fleeing over the mountains, minus the peril, plus a lanyard. Why the gap is so wide? Here's the bit that turns the gag into something real. The circuit caps at around 105,000 fans a day and sells out routinely, drawing roughly 300,000 across the weekend, far more than this rural valley was ever built to absorb. The drive to survive boom poured the better part of a small city onto the same finite patch of Styria, and the roads, the meadows, and the cows did not get any bigger. Add the orange tide of Dutch fans who caravan in every year, and you understand why the journey to the track has become its own event. The race lasts 71 laps. The pilgrimage lasts all weekend. Why we keep coming back. Despite the chaos, the Red Bull Ring delivers. The atmosphere in those hills is electric, the views are ridiculous, and the racing rarely disappoints. This year alone served up a George Russell win from pole, a Mercedes double podium with Kimi Antonelli P3, and a full Max Verstappen redemption arc. From burying it in the wall in Q3 on Saturday to clawing back to P2 by Sunday, 1.6 seconds off the win. Piastri and Hamilton completed the top five. Organizers know what they have. They've extended the F1 deal through 2041, tying Austria with Miami for the longest commitment on the calendar. F1 boss Stefano Domenicali called it an incredibly special race, too deeply rooted in the sport's history to let go. Translation: the Cornfield commute is now guaranteed until most of today's rookies have retired. Yes, you'll outwalk most ultramarathons. Yes, the Sunday exodus, so long, farewell, feels like the fall of civilization. But that's the charm. This isn't Monaco, Miami, or Vegas. There's no skyline doing the work for you. The countryside isn't the backdrop here, it is the event. The honest scoreboard. Let me be fair to both tribes. The Haves get the better morning. There's no romanticizing your way around a helicopter. Their orans stay pristine, and anyone who says otherwise has never queued for a shuttle in 90-degree heat. But the have-nots get the better story. You can't bond with a stranger over a smooth VIP transfer. You can bond over, I think the car is near the third cow from the left. That's the whole event in 3 pictures. The helicopters make it funny. The cows make it iconic. The cornfield makes it a shared trauma. A few of my favorite things. Cornfield edition. Bring real shoes. Your race day sneakers will betray you. Embrace the cows. They were there first. Photograph where you parked. From 4 angles you will immediately forget. Helicopter money? No? Then pack snacks and a sense of humor. So which team are you on? VIP arrival. See you at the paddock. Cornfield survivor. See you after the hike to the track. No judgment. Unless you parked in the actual corn. Either way, the hills will be alive with strings, with engines, and with 250,000 people trying to remember where they parked. See you at the Red Bull Ring.